Thank you very much. So I will be speaking community engagement. And the title of my talk is What Happens When We All Do Our Part. I must say that I'm so proud to present to you some of the things that we do, or I do, as a woman. Most proud also because I'm a Bauchi citizen. So for the past 5 years, 7 years, I have been actively involved in community engagement. During these years, I have been to more than 10 states from the north, to many grassroots communities that I can count. And you'll be asking why. This is just to provoke community engagement and involvement, to also ensure that the dividends of democracy is trickled down to the poorest of the poor, to ensure equity, fairness, and justice. I have sat down with governors, deputy governors, commissioners. I'm proud of sitting down also with and engaging even community leaders, women groups, youth groups. I must say that I have learned and grown as a person much more than I have impacted. But then I'm also most proud to say that in these communities, I have seen hope in the little things that we do there. Similarly, I have been a university lecturer for almost 7 years now at the Ahmadu Bello University, teaching students at various levels, guiding them through their thesis and dissertation writing. In fact, I'm most proud to report to you that my PhD thesis is as a result of a research that was conducted by my student. So this is to say that I have seen how someone you've never imagined can actually impact on you. I have also been so fortunate to coordinate a class of not less than 250 students. So even after their graduation, I continue to be their mentor. One of them is here, Nafisa. And I'm most proud to say that Nafisa is doing so great. Project monitoring, project management, and even securing a job where I would also always raise her hands and say, this is my product. So in these experiences have taught me one thing, and this is the importance of community. And when I'm talking about community, I'm talking about a community of people and not just of a place. So these experiences have taught me that the communities that we form within ourselves are the strings that build the fabrics of our very own existence as individuals or as a nation. So these small tribes that we form on our social media platforms, for instance, or the communities and groups we form within our circles, they shape the realities of our everyday life, and you will understand why. The differences that we have in the food that we eat, the languages we speak, or the jargons we communicate with, are actually what makes us unique as a community. And so you'll be wondering, what are these responsibilities we must embody as members of a community? And I'll be sharing 4 of those learnings, which all of the 4, I'll try as much as possible to narrate some kind of stories from the works that we do, some of which culminated from We Care Foundation and others from my academic experience. And the first one is vote. I really enjoyed the speech by Mr. Stanley because I look forward to talks around election. Because Ours, Nigeria, is one with an injured democracy. You all agree with me. But the fact that we go out there every 4 years to stand in the sun to elect leaders, then we all eat a responsibility to ourselves and posterity that we ensure accountability. Election is the bedrock of democracy. So as a member of your community, you cannot not vote. Not only vote, you have to go there, mobilize your circle to also vote as well. So there's one thing that election riggers made us believe, that our vote does not count, but it counts. In the last election, the 2019 presidential election, the Independent National Electoral Commission reported that we have about 84 million registered voters, but only 34.7% of that number actually went out to exercise their franchises. Now, what this tells us is that more than half of eligible registered voters refuse to go out to exercise their franchises and rather sit at home to eat gari, for instance, or rice. So, we ask ourselves, imagine if this percentage, about 50 million people, go out to vote for one candidate. What change would we have made then? So it is your right to vote, and it is your right to mobilize, to enlighten people. It is a responsibility, rather, to enlighten people, create awareness around the importance of us voting for credible leaders and change makers. In our effort to ensure that, in Kaduna State precisely, I belong to a platform we call the agenda.ng. And this is where we try to talk about not only voting or creating awareness around election, but then issue-based campaign. I really like the speech by Mr. Stanley when he said, you have to tell them what you want for them to provide for you as a citizen. Because this is what you want, not what they want. And so they are serving you, the public servants, we call them. So we do those things under the platform. I know all of us are aware of that, the civics piece. People will follow the candidates and ask them for their manifestos, and then we will store it online, hoping that after election, in fact, before election, these are the questions we will ask them. What are you going to do about these and these and this? We want you to put these and these and these as the issues you would tackle for us. And so, hoping that after election, we're going to ask them the same questions. What have you done about that? So please, as members of the different communities that we belong, it is important that not only talk about go and get your voter cards, talk about what issues do you want your leaders, the elected leaders, to focus on after coming into office. The second thing is unsolicited obligations. So these are actions and duties that we perform just because we want to see fairness in our society, or because we want to see things goes right. We do these things not because of expectation of rewards or fear of sanction, but because we just want to see our society better. So it could be as small as just removing a stone from the road. If you belong to my belief, you know that this is what Sadaka, right? And then it could be as small as organizing TEDx event where people can come and learn. Unsolicited obligations, most importantly, is the bedrock of volunteering activities.